Peloton has been an absolute disaster since everybody went back to work and went back to gyms, etc. Guys, people were not realistic about this company. Everybody got locked down during COVID and stayed at home and made gyms in their house, brought a Peloton to their house, a treadmill or a bike, it doesn't matter. This trend was not going to continue. And here we are in the situation where this stock has gone from $175 a share. I'm actually going to pull up one of my charts because it looks more dramatic. $175 a share in the beginning of 2021, and we are now sitting at $13.65. Look at that run that it went through in COVID, and it just ran straight up, and it came straight back down. To me, this was just basic common sense. I didn't understand why people were giving it these crazy valuations and numbers, and more bad news is coming out for Peloton. They have hired a new CEO, Barry McCarthy. He was at Netflix, he was at Shopify, he was at Instacart, etc. And he is trying to bring this company back to where they think that they could be. A lot of restructuring is going on. In the last 6 months, I believe, he took the job in February. So in the last 6 months, the company has laid off 2,800 employees. 2,800 employees. And just the other day, yesterday, they laid off another 800 employees. So what Peloton is doing, they're trying to redesign their bikes. The big thing for them is costs. They are getting dominated with costs and expenses, etc. So what they are trying to do is redesign these bikes so that they can send them to your house in basically a FedEx box. What they do now, I have 2 Pelotons. I bought them at separate times. What they do is they send a little van to your house with your bike in it, with your treadmill in it. And they set it up for you, and they have 2 guys, so it takes all this time to get it from the warehouse to you, etc. And truly, it's completely unnecessary because it's very easy to set up if they would just send it to you in that way. So the idea going forward is that they could just unbox it themselves, and it would come in a FedEx box. Friday, they laid off another 800 workers. They raised the price of the equipment, and they're outsourcing deliveries, and they're trying to increase the customer service functions, which has just been a mess. Now, here's some good news coming out for the company. Maybe, unless it costs a ton of money. They're coming out with these rowing machines. Not only are they talking about these, they have these little things that kind of sit on top of your TV. It has a little camera in the middle, and it's going to be some type of virtual class where it actually looks at you. It can read you. It can tell how many calories you're burning, your type of movement that you're having. This is something they're saying that they're going to come out with around Christmas. They're also talking about coming out with this rowing machine that's going to be coming around Christmas. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how it sells. We'll see how it and it takes off. I mean, this is going to be another addition for Peloton, who has just been absolutely decimated because of this Tread Plus. If you guys remember, they had Tread Plus. So they have their they have Bike Plus, and then they have Tread and Tread Plus. And Tread Plus was the machine that it actually always did look a little weird. We have one in our gym here. It's quite high off the ground, to be honest with you, and it does. After everything started, I was like, yeah, that treadmill, the butt of that treadmill is kind of high off the ground. It was sucking animals under. It was sucking toys under. Unfortunately, it sucked the child under and killed the child. And that is when these things got taken off the market. They basically said, we'll give you a refund for the product free of charge. Just send it back to us and you get your money back. And that was the first big hit that they took. Now they're trying to get into the area of I don't want to say this is a software company, but they have phenomenal software. What they do have is this community that they've created of users where you can go and have different instructors going from yoga, strength training, being on the bike, treadmill, etc. And now they're starting to say for $12.99 a month, I believe it is now. Yes, you can download the app, you can get it on your smartphone, and you can use it on any device that you want to. They're starting to kind of release more to that, and they're hoping to get into other devices. So you'll be able to buy some other brand of bike, some other brand of Nautilus equipment, what have you, and you'll be able to use the Peloton instructors on those types of machines and working out. It's just a way for them to get out to more people, and they really want to take that user base to 100 million people. I mean, sometime in this decade, I would assume. Peloton's ultimate success, McCarthy said, is their in-house hardware. Rests on their digital app rather than their in-house hardware, and he's absolutely right about that. This is some of the best. This is the Tesla technology of the fitness world. It is absolutely fantastic. The company is also gearing up for widespread launch of its leasing program. So now what they're going to do, you're going to be able to get a bike or a treadmill without a down payment, and you're going to pay a subscription service. They're going to send it to your house. You're going to use it. You're going to pay a monthly fee on it, so you don't actually have to buy the equipment. We're making the bet that you're going to love our service as much as the rest of our users do. You'll exhibit low monthly churn and have high lifetime value. The big bet is that people are going to love the software, and it's going to stick with them. So in the long run here, I hope the company works out. Personally, I think that they're in a better situation for a bigger company to buy them, like an Apple, a Nike, maybe even an Amazon, getting in and buying them and using their software with some other type of hardware, or the Peloton hardware for that matter. But they have the user base for it. It's a very cheap company right now relative to the big boys. That's where my preference would be for the company to go instead of what they're trying to do. But that's just me. Now, if you're in the situation that you're in Peloton stock, either you want to own it or you're stuck in it. Here's what I would suggest you do. I think you should come in and sell some options on it. And I think covered calls would be selling covered calls, of course, selling would be the best way that you can go about doing this. So my idea in my head is, let's go out 1 month and see what we have right now. So the current stock price is sitting at, what are we at? $13.72. So now I'm saying to myself, okay, it's $13.72. I want to keep these shares. I don't want to lose them because I do think that the company can grow from here. I'll run it through Stock Analyzer. Actually, you know what? Let's run it through Stock Analyzer right now. But before I even do that, my name is Mo. Myself and Paul are value investors. What we do is we have a process, and I'm going to show that to you, a process for choosing companies and going forward and investing in them. If this speaks to you, keep following along with me. I'm going to go right here to Stock Analyzer tool. So with Stock Analyzer, guys, this is going to be hard to do. I've already taken it down to one assumption. I've done a 5-year analysis. Let's put in revenue growth numbers. What can this company realistically do over the next 5 years to make me want to invest in them? I'm going to put in 10%. I do think that if they get it all together, they can grow. I think they're going to probably grow. If they get everything together and the rower works and the bike works and everything starts working and all of this software starts working, they can do more than 10%. But for conservative value, I'm going to put in 10%. Profit margin. If it was just software, it would be higher, but it's not. It's a lot of hardware. It's a lot of money being spent. It's going to decrease their profit margin. I'm going to put in 15% profit margin for them. Free cash flow margin, I'm just going to do exactly the same. A PE, I will give them an 18 PE, which is probably going to be argued upon, but that's okay. I really don't know. And I'm going to put in 20% return because this is a big gamble for me going forward. So here it is. If, Peloton has been an interesting one because Paul and I have analyzed it a couple times. We've put in our assumptions, and I don't remember if these were accurate. You can actually go back to a previous video and see what we put in. But these kind of start making sense to me. The problem is the unknown in the future. And even though the number makes sense, currently trading at 1367, 2680 is what I would have to pay today to get these numbers. It does make sense from that aspect. So let's go in and say that I do own the shares or you own the shares. What can you do now? Well, I think you could sell covered calls. So instead of your money just sitting there doing nothing, what you can do is go and sell some covered calls and collect premium on them and keep the shares. So let's look at some 20. We want to keep the shares. Let's go to a month out. Let's go to 2250. So 2250, I'm saying I'm going to get 40 cents per share. 40 cents per share. So if I have 100 shares of Peloton, I can sell one contract at $22.50 and collect 40 cents per share. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you keep doing that every single month, or if you maybe even get a little bit more aggressive, if you get more aggressive and go for $20, you can get 64 cents a share. You see, as the closer to the strike price, the closer to the current price that you get, the more premium you're going to get. But for me, I want to keep the shares. I'm only going to go for 40 cents. And I'm going to do this every single month. And hopefully, I never lose the shares until the price just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. And I keep collecting 40 cents over and over and over. And during volatile times, maybe I'll collect 60 cents. Maybe I'll collect 80 cents. And let's say the Peloton stock price gets to the actual stock price, let's say it gets to $35 a share. And I say, you know what? I actually just want to exit this. I'm going to sell some options at $35 and I can collect that $2 a share, $2.30 a share at that point in time, sell my shares, get my additional premium, etc. So you can get more aggressive as time goes on. So if you guys have made it this long in the video, there's one more thing I want to go over, and it's trading. And Peloton is a great stock to trade because it has that daily volatility. It's a very popular stock and it gets a lot of volume. The average volume on this thing is 13.5 million shares traded per day, so it's very popular. This is a great stock to swing trade. And a swing trade is when you're in a stock between 1 and 10 days, not years, and you're expecting a 4 to 10% return depending on moving averages, resistance, support, etc. So right now, you could have added right here on this big green engulfing candlestick at about $10.54, and today you're sitting at $13.64, maybe 8-9 days later. Right now, what I'm seeing here, and the way that I would play this, if you can continue to get these green volume bars and just explode up through this 100-day moving average, that will give you a really good opportunity to swing trade this towards the 200-day moving average. Now, if that doesn't work out for you, and say we get a ton of selling volume, say negative news comes out about them, something bad happens with the company, they can't produce, their forward-looking numbers into the Christmas season are going to be bad, they're not going to get that rower out, well, this stock is probably going to drop. If it drops below these two lines, purple and yellow, 50 and 25-day moving average, you can certainly go short on this, and it's going to be a nice short, probably somewhere into this $8, $5 range or something like that. No matter which way you look at this, value, options, or trading, we have a process for you. Go watch this video right here. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.